Hey everyone. Greg might be thinking that, oh no, not another compliance demo, but we'll try to keep you entertained for the next few minutes. As you can tell by our very creative name, we spend most of our time talking to compliance and risk teams. And what resonates with them the most is that it's not breaking the rules that gets you in trouble. It's not knowing that you broke the rules or when you broke the rules and how that really it gets you in trouble. And a lot of manual effort is really dedicated to validating that you're running a compliant environment. And we would argue that most compliance vendors really focus on back-end compliance, so fraud, KYC, identity verification. But front-end compliance has been left behind a little bit. And that's where a lot of the end-user experience is happening. And we think that this can alleviate a lot of the issues that compliance teams are facing. So how can this front-end compliance, or what we call observability for non-technical teams, can help you have the certainty that when systems malfunction, break, updated without your knowledge, experience version control issues, you will know about it, and therefore will have more time spending on other things like generating more revenue. So let's take a look at how this observability platform can help. All right, we'd like to simulate an end-user experience as if I'm applying for a deposit account, for example. It could be any application for a loan product as well, but deposit is as good as any. And this is an environment that we don't build. We integrate with whatever you already have in place. So as I'm going through this, I'm actually going to simulate a couple breaks in the system as well. So I'll start an application. Maybe I'll miss some disclosures. And while these seem trivial, they actually happen more often than you would think. I'll quickly pass KYC, sign 1 million other disclosures, and then get to the last screen over here. Before I proceed with creating an account, let's pull up a different view, a compliance view. So what you see on the right here is our platform running behind the scenes and analyzing this end-user experience against a lot of different compliance rules and regulations. Think of it as a compliance analyst who knows all the rules, who went to school, passed their exams, and they're monitoring every single interaction. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this last button. I want you to pay attention to the right side of the screen. As soon as I create my account, I can see there are some issues with this application. So, and alerts are great, but that's not enough. We need to get to the bottom of this problem. So let's click on BSAML, for example. So we see that there is an issue with CIP data collection, one of the requirements in an application. In fact, let's maximize this compliance view and dig in a little bit further. We see that we are failing on collecting a first name. And we have this application link here. We can get to the more detailed view of what is happening here. We can get more details about the application, like all of the expected agreements, documents, disclosures. We can see that we're missing some, like privacy policy and e-sign disclosure. We can also get a lot more information around the KYC, USA Patriot Act, TCPA consent, and so on and so forth, with timestamps and all that information. Now, let's click on the monitoring rules. Some of them are failing, but we really need to get to the bottom why they're failing. And this is where a replay function is really helpful. What you get here is a high-fidelity recording of the actual end-user session. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click play, sit back and relax in my very uncomfortable office chair, and see what happens here. In this screen specifically, we're seeing that the first name is missing. So something ultimately broke here. And while screen sessions are great, and you probably have seen a number of companies do that, what's different about us is that we're able to configure the screen recording to understand exactly what it's looking at, what it's observing. I'm going to give you a quick glimpse of how this is working. I'm going to enable this annotations mode. Now you can see the different elements of the screen being highlighted. So what we're able to do is we're able to assign semantic meaning to each element of the screen. And that means that it's not your compliance officer that sits through 1,000 recordings and is trying to analyze them and figure out what the issue is. It's the machine that's doing it going forward. And then it's bubbling up all of the issues for a human to review. So only the exceptions are really are up for human inspection. And this is just, we're focusing on compliance at the moment, but this is just one of the elements where this system could be applicable. And onboarding is just one of the workflows that we're focusing on at the moment, but you can imagine there are other interactions, end user interactions, that have compliance meaning that we can record, analyze, and observe. In conclusion, I'd like to add that while there are other systems focused on screen recordings, no one has really figured out how to extract the data, analyze it on a population-based level. And this is exactly what the system is able to do. So please stop by our booth and learn more how we can help your compliance team to become more effective and efficient. Thank you.